What up everyone, it's your boy Adeelocino. Welcome to another episode with Keeping Calm with Adeelocino. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is basically giving you guys an intro to the next video series that I'm going to be doing. It's where I play counselor and patient at the same time. It's basically me asking myself personal questions and answering those personal questions with nothing but honesty. And I hope you guys like it because it is for educational purposes. It's not so much giving advice and all of that. It's basically me trying to grow myself and become the better version of myself. So if you guys are new, like the channel, subscribe, leave a comment below. You know the drill. And if you need to contact me directly, hit me up on Instagram. And yeah, let's get into it because I'm really excited to show you guys a bit of Adeelocino's world from the beginning. And we're gonna go through this journey together. Let's go! Let's go! So thank you for coming out and seeing me today. And it's not easy to come out of what you're going through and message me to kind of book an appointment. So I've got my notebook here. I've got everything. I've got questions set up to kind of let out your emotions of what you're going through. And also, I want you to be you as if you're speaking to yourself in the mirror. Like, let go of what you're going through. Tell me what you're going through and just don't hold back. And if you do get to certain points where you can't explain yourself, if you want, you can move on. There's no right or wrong answers in this session. Well, thank you, Doc. Thank you for seeing me in the last minute. I know it's lockdown and stuff, but I thought I'd come and see you because you are the best out in Melbourne. So I wanted to come and see you because I've been going through a lot lately. I've been in the fields and I don't know, I've never done this before, so I'm a bit nervous. I'm kind of sweating a bit. And I just feel like there's a lot to discuss, but I don't know where to start from. So there's a blanket here. Feel comfortable if you want to get more cozy, more at home. So the first question I really want to start off with is to kind of make you get in ease with this therapy session, and that is, tell me what your childhood was like. Like, you know, was there something that you did as a kid that you like remember hardcore? Was there something silly that you did, something funny that you did? Like, just start off with that and then I will slowly progress into asking you questions about what you're feeling and things will get a lot easier. So what was my childhood like? That's really tough. I grew up in a really cultural, Pashtun culture. My parents were really strict. Oh, they still are. My dad's real strict still. My dad was a workaholic. All he cared about was working. That's what they've been taught with, is just work hard. And kind of my parents didn't grow up with much. My dad was a pilot and became a businessman. I do remember playing behind his work. As a kid, there used to be a farm, there used to be horses. I used to feed the horses. I used to overfeed them. There used to be roosters. I have a phobia of roosters. I got chased by a rooster. And yeah, like, kind of grew, like when you grow up in a strict environment where your parents are like no to everything because they're so overprotective of you, you kind of want to break out of that. It's like a prison. Like, that's what I'm kind of feeling right now with this lockdown. It feels like I'm in a prison, but it wasn't like, I didn't have a great childhood and I didn't have a really bad childhood. I'd probably say it was average. Like, nothing was great growing up. Like, I used to go to Arabic classes, so my time used to be caught up between going to school and then straight to Arabic classes, come home at 7, homework, sleep, repeat, Monday to Friday. I used to go to Arabic classes on Saturdays, Sundays as well, 5 in the morning. Like, you know, Arabic classes were really important for my parents. Yeah, that's basically it. I don't know what else to kind of say about my childhood because I wish I had a better childhood, if that makes sense. So yeah. Next question I really would like to ask you is that, do you think your childhood plays a major part in how you feel to this present moment? I think my childhood does play a massive role in how I feel and certain behaviors that I have now. Like, I feel kind of insecure at times. I kind of feel like I can't do certain things because I'm stuck in two cultures. I feel like I'm stuck between it. Like, it just feels like I'm a bridge between it. And like, I know a lot of my friends tell me that you should embrace your culture, you should embrace this, you should be grateful that you speak multiple languages. Yeah, that's all amazing, it is. But getting validation from people has been the major impact on my mental health growing up as a kid. And like, I remember like doing things to impress people, and deep down it would crush me. It would crush me because I'd do certain things that, you know, it's against the culture, like the Pashtun culture. And then I'd do something in the Pashtun culture that was completely against the New Zealand culture. So it was like this never-ending cycle. So yeah, it does make me feel insecure. It does have a massive impact on how I am today. It just feels, sorry Doc, but I don't really know how to put it, but it does make me feel as if I'm trapped. I want to get out of all of this. I want to get out of the whole society thing, the whole cultural thing. I want to make my own culture. Like I do, I feel stuck. You know, I gotta do certain things that I know I'm not right in both cultures, and I just have to do it because I'm torn between it. And I know it's my, you know, right and wrong conscious or whatever it's called telling me that. But yeah, it does. And I'm just constantly worried that people will judge me for what I am and who I am and where I've come from. You know, there's a lot to it. It's like, honestly, I could write a book, I could make a movie out of it, and it still wouldn't be enough of what my childhood was like. If that makes sense. So the next question I really want to ask you is that, do you think what you felt as a child growing up impacts what you feel today, or impacts how you feel during the week, month, year, if that makes sense? In other words, does it really impact you with what you are today? Yeah, it does. It certainly does. There's times during the week I feel like I'm trapped. I feel like I'm in the whole vicious cycle over again. I'm not doing enough. You know, as a kid I got compared a lot. Like I start comparing myself to other people that are doing well. I compare myself to myself as in like what I was a year ago. Like those factors are still there. Like it's there, and it's hard to break out of those habits. It's hard to break out of what I feel and how I'm going through the week, because it does come down to my root, and the root cause is like I love my culture, I love it, I do, but there's some parts of it that kind of weighs me down at times. Like, you know, I'd get compared a lot as growing up. Like my parents would compare me to my brother, my cousins, like people around that were doing well. Like, oh my god, X and Y is doing so much good, why can't you be like that? And it's kind of engraved. It is. And so when I see people on social media doing well, I instantly go into that whole shell. I think of myself, why I can't do this? Why am I not good enough? Why am I doing this, or why am I doing that? And I get imposter syndrome. I feel like I don't know enough, and then I'm constantly busy trying to achieve those goals for myself. I'm in this whole, it's just a bubble. Like honestly, this whole massive bubble, and inside that massive bubble, there's needles poking me because I am wanting to do so much. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I feel. And there's times where I wish things, like I wish my childhood was like that, I wish it was like that, and then I wish my week wasn't like that. And then I kind of go back and forth between the two. I tell myself why, and then I don't know the answers for it, and I try to look for the answers, and then I'm just back in a never-ending cycle. And then when I have non-productive days, I feel disgusted in myself for not doing things. I feel like I just wasted a whole day. And then with that, I get anxious with time, anxiety kicks in. It's honestly, I'm just an emotional wreck. And I try to hold it down, I try to act all that I'm okay, but really I am not okay. And there's a lot more to it, and I just don't really know how to unlock that deep level of emotions and express it through words, because in my head and what I feel is completely different, and the words cannot describe what I'm going through. So what would you rate your childhood out of 10? 1 being bad, 10 being awesome, amazing, like couldn't get any better. So what would you rate it out of 10? That is tough. I'm probably a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Give it 4 out of 10. Man, the struggle was real as a kid. Like, I've been racially abused. I've been, discriminated against in terms of my religion, culture. the list goes on. And sometimes I feel as if I can't open up because I feel like I'm getting judged. I feel like people are kind of looking at me like, damn, like his accent, his skin color don't match. So I do get like facial expressions where people are like, so it's just like, it's a bit tough. It is tough, and I don't really like opening up because of it. Sometimes with people that I don't really know and people around me, I kind of keep quiet. But it's tough because like, there's times when I have not even written my name on application forms. I just put my first name and then my last name, just initial for it. Like my childhood, because a lot went on. 9/11 went on, and then everyone was hating on. Because I'm Muslim, everyone's been hating on Muslims for it. Like after 9/11, like there's so many times I've been called a terrorist. There's so many times I've been called olive skin. I've even been called desert N-word. I've been called that so many times. And yeah, it just sucks because I'm not any different from any other kid. I had goals as a kid. I wanted to be this, I wanted to be that. And people don't really see you for what you are. People kind of bunch you in with the rest of the crowd, but that wasn't me. I wanted so much more, as a kid. And in high school was the same thing, everyone used to just say, you're a terrorist, you might just bomb me up. It's like, man, like, yeah, I get it, I'm a Pashtun, yeah, I get there's a war going on back home, yeah, I guess there's all that going on, but it's not me, man. I'm the least violent person out there. Like, I don't even like fighting, I don't even like any of that. So I'd say my childhood, 4 out of 10. Brings me to the end of our session. There's a lot of information that I got from you in terms of how you felt as a kid growing up, and if that plays a massive impact on you today. This was all done for me to kind of understand where you're coming from, where your emotions come from, what it's like to be you in your shoes growing up. So it kind of gives me a base context of what you're like and what your emotions are like. And there's a lot that came from this therapy session. I hope you kind of saw it for yourself as well, and that is a lot of it to do with insecurity, strict culture, strict parents, people calling you certain names. There's a lot for me to kind of list down what you're going to do. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to kind of bundle this all up for the next therapy session and kind of go through a few activities where you can feel a lot open and feel a lot more comfortable with what you are and what you're feeling. So yeah, this is a pretty quick session though. Do you have any questions or anything else that you'd like to bring up before we call it a day? Thank you for listening to me. Like, honestly, it's amazing to actually let out even the smallest emotions. Like, that's what I realized with this session with you. I hold a lot of my emotions in. I don't really open up a lot when it comes to my emotions. Yeah, I'm an open person in terms of things that don't involve my emotions. And especially culture-wise, we're taught to kind of, as a man, hold your emotions. You're supposed to be the bread and butter and money maker of the house. All of that, it weighs you down. And like, there is an example where I can relate to a lot, and I've seen it a lot around social media and all of that, is that it's like initially when you fill up a half cup and you hold it, it's not that heavy. But over time, that cup becomes heavier and heavier and heavier. Even though it's the same weight, it becomes heavier and heavier. And that's what I feel most of the time. And it's hard for me to express what I'm going through at times because my mind and the words, emotions don't really connect. And a lot of people can't really understand what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. They assume that they know what I'm going through and what I feel. But yeah, this session here has been really eye-opening for me. Like, it feels like I've taken a lot off my chest just thinking about my childhood. And I cannot wait to see you next week and kind of get into more of what I'm feeling and what my emotions are like and how this lockdown has been causing mayhem for me. And I'm really grateful. Like, I wasn't expecting much from this session, to be honest. I just thought it'd be just a normal conversation, getting to know each other, but it's good that we dived right into it. I'm really grateful. So thank you, and I cannot wait to see you next week.